What is going on, Lunatic Fringe? Guys, we got some details we got to talk about on the chart. I'm going to show you what I'm seeing. Hopefully, this is just a small correction. We've had some downward momentum. We had that big dip the other day. That big dip the other day caused by some FUD that came out about the Bitcoin ETF from somebody who didn't even work for Matrixport, despite saying it was Matrixport. So that's bizarre. But we move on from there. By the way, if you haven't already, make sure you consider at least subscribing to the channel, hitting that like button. That helps push me up in the algorithm. Leave a comment, if you will, letting me know that you're part of the Luna Classic Army, Lunc Army, Lunatic Fringe, call it what you will, just be part of it. So, and by the way, I'm not sponsored by Blaze Token, but I do recommend that you check that out. It's not a show, but I think that that's a self-sustaining thing, which is why I hope that that's going to be something for the long term. Really good idea for Luna Classic. So, but no matter what, we got some issues on the chart that we need to look at and kind of address. I did a fib retracement. Of course, we've been following it for a while, and it's playing out almost perfectly to where we would have thought that it would go. So without further ado, let's kind of check into it and let's see what we see now. Spoiler alert: the Luna Classic looks okay. I'll give you the USTC not so good, but let's check it out. So as you can see right here on this little range we're looking at right now, this is we're looking at this on a 1 hour time frame. Now we're going to zoom in. You can see that you're going to play with this chart all the time, of course. What we see is a rip down. I think this is caused by just general FUD in the market, where the overall we're getting ready for that ETF and we don't have that approval yet. People getting a little antsy trying to figure out, like, what is the next step? What's the next play? I don't know what the next play is. I can only guess. I think that we're going to about 52,000 at this point. You might even look around a little bit and see some of the people that you would normally have talked to before who said that they think certain things are now doing the same thing that I'm doing and saying, well, it looks more like 52K as opposed to 47, 48K. It looks like we're ready for a rip. So I don't know when that's going to come, but I know that that's about 115, I want to say, $billion coming into the market to get to 48. I want to say about 140 billion coming in to get to 50-50. So that's how that's looking. But that's not Luna Classic. We're talking about Luna Classic. But however, that's important to kind of look at the whole market to get an idea of what's happening or going to happen there. So that out of the way, we rejected off of the 786 fib retracement line. You can see that right there off of the last big rip. Now, we're going to leave this in as a fib tool for the foreseeable future, because I think it's important for us to know what these levels are. So we're going to remove this, by the way, because I don't think that really applies anymore. Now, because of the downward momentum from where we were right here when I said I expect us to come up here and attack that 382 level, I think now we're looking at, it's actually pretty simple. We move this down to here, and we're coming into I want to say this level here, but as you can see from this, we're probably looking at a retracement back to about the 15 level to 618. That's the immediate move, and I don't know that happens over the next couple of days. I think it's going to take a little while before we really start to see anything significant play out, because the market is just not feeling alts. This is or it was, we were feeling alts, and then Bitcoin now has to rip. Now if Bitcoin goes to 50,000, all bets are off. We are probably going to be looking at a 2 to 3x from where we are, and that's not bogus. That's the market. The market is what it is. So what we're looking for is, we're looking for 50,000 for Bitcoin, the start of a what you would call mini altcoin season. After that mini altcoin season, then we would be looking at another move back for Bitcoin after a little consolidation to halving, and then a run up to about 70,000. That run up to 70,000 leads to a bigger payoff for everybody down the long term. We get a full on altcoin season kind of to kick off this bull market, and then the next thing we know, Bitcoin gets on its rip and everything else starts to run. So that's what we're looking at. That seems to be the most likely scenario of play out. Now, looking at USTC, you're not seeing the same level. So I'm going to say that I'm in as a buyer on USTC down in this level here. I want to point that out to you. Anywhere between 1.2 and 1.5 cents. That's where I become a buyer again, because I just get the sense from the way that I'm looking at this chart that there's a move coming down into this range. Now, it doesn't look good. And I don't have any great news to report to you about USTC. Now, the good part about USTC is that it's got a fairly low market cap, only 120, 150 million at any given point. Could be that it rips absolutely and goes bonkers, and we get up to $1 billion market cap. It could go back up like it did the other day at the drop of a hat when we get some really good information. We haven't gotten any really good information, but we get some really good information about what's going on with a repeg, which I don't have anything yet, but when we do, something good might happen. Now, another piece to this puzzle, if you will, is Terraform Labs and Do Kwon challenged the SEC's expert opinion in legal showdown. Now, if you remember, it says in the legal battle unfolding in the United States District Court of Southern District of New York, Do Kwon, and notably, the focus is on disputing the testimony of Dr. Matthew Edmond, a key expert witness for the SEC. The defendants argue that the court's denial of their motion to exclude Edmond's opinion needs reconsideration due to critical oversights and changes in controlling law. Terraform and Do Kwon are actively contesting the SEC's allegation, emphasizing the need to reconsider the court's opinion. At the core of the dispute is Edmond's assertion that transactions generated by the LP servers do not represent real-world Chai transactions, but merely reflect users and merchant activities. Meanwhile, the defendants, in their latest filing, argue that the court failed to acknowledge Dr. Edmond's admission of lacking essential data to validate his claims. For context, the court, in its initial ruling, seemingly reversed the burden of proof, emphasizing the defendant's inability to produce certain inputs into the LP server. However, Terraform Labs contends the court overlooked the fact that Chai, not the defendant, had possession of the LP server and the relevant inputs. So what they're saying is that during this testimony, this expert testimony, that this guy is absolutely not an expert. He has no idea what he's talking about, and that he's just kind of quote unquote winging it, if you will. And there's no real basis because he cannot explain his methodology, and that's very important. He can't explain why. So if you can't explain why, how is that admissible? That's all you're doing is speculating about it. And if you're speculating about it, then this goes back to a lot of different things. And look, you can't be selling securities if you're selling it to individuals. We already established that with XRP. So weird things going on. So, but you should be informed about that. And you should know that those are the kind of wild things that seem to be happening now. Also, should be noted here, major liquidation incoming on January 20th, according to eToro. We on eToro had an announcement that stocks held in positions of Lunc and Luna will be liquidated on January 20 due to regulatory processes of the Financial Authority of BaFin, Germany. This process is based on EU-wide regulatory standards that eToro could not meet. That's why it might be interesting to know that a big liquidation is taking place soon, or is currently taking place, because all German users have to liquidate their holdings and convert them into CFD positions or switch to alternative exchanges where Lunc and Luna is offered, including staking. Now, what is the dollar amount to that? We don't know what the dollar amount is, and it could be that we're already experiencing that in this little move, because wildly speculative here, but Bitcoin's at 45,000. The last time Bitcoin was at 45,000, if we looked at this chart, then we were sitting at 27. 3 zeros 27. So it could be that this is happening as we speak, and that's part of what we're feeling right here. Now, this is standard fib retracement. We did go below the 786, which is not a great sign, but it could be indicative that this is some sell pressure in one country, by the way. It's not gigantic. It's Germany, but and it's big, by the way, very pro crypto area. So it could be that we're looking at a massive sell-off. It just kind of fits in with the rest of this narrative. So it may not be as bad as we think. They may be just converting it over, and buyers are stepping in. So could be that that's the case. I'm not saying that it is, but it should be. We should be aware. This announcement is basically general information. Hopefully, it should have no impact on the here and now, but should show the risk that Lunc still poses for outside people who put their trust in this project on exchanges and brokers. The majority are reinvesting and actively participating in the staking program. So people are pulling their money out, they're putting it back in. So that's why this is it's a little bit wild. Basically, it's essentially eToro failed. We are actively working on getting back in, and would like to present this as a general message to those who are interested. So that's what's happening here. So be aware of that. Know that there is some sell pressure happening right now, and hopefully we'll get beyond that. But again, USDC not looking good. Lunc a little better looking, but again, it would make sense that something like that is happening as a liquidation event. And so that's it. Now we're going to play the ad. And this is not financial advice. My name is Please. I'm always right. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate each and every one of you. And we'll talk to you again very, very soon. What's going on, guys? Cryptonomy.finance. I do have an incredible promo event. Follow Cryptonomy_fi. Make your deposit at Cryptonomy.finance. Like and retweet the post and tag 3 friends who love Solana. As you can see right here, earned about 0.0014 Bitcoin. When we get to our fixed levels, my tether so far, $4,345, I've actually earned $251 in accrued interest. For my XRP, 224 XRP, Ethereum 0.09, Ethereum, Bitcoin, we've got 0.008, 0.008, also about $500. Of course, these ranges were a little different. I was using a little bit more. And then we have the long-term one that I set up over here as well, 0.01. The launch pool. Guys, I want to stress, like, this is where the money has been made. My position right here, you can see right now, we've accrued interest of $19,000. By the way, the reason for that is very simple, because if you get in on the launch pool. And some of these, when you get something big, like 9.74, and you're in on 18x return or a 7% return, another 8 right there. Once you start to get these big returns, that's when you start to get the big rewards. So we put a heavy amount into this. What I'm going to do, we're going to look up some Solana. And so we're going to throw in the maximum amount for Solana. We're going to get 25 Solana, and then we're going to continue here. We're going to do the 12-month rate since that's 103%. Boom. Now we have another holding. On the My Deposits here, you're going to see that one up there at the top. Best percentage rate right now. Fantastic. Make sure you check out Cryptonomy.finance.